Hello there, Champa. Okay, sorry for the delay. Um, it was, just some technical problems. So let's have a look. Roads and transport authorities throughout both the developing and developed have world have debated over reduced speed limit being a viable have debated over reducing the speed limit. Okay, we've got a preposition, so the verb afterwards will be in a gerund. Reducing the speed limit as a viable option for safer roads, or have debated whether to reduce the speed limit as a viable option for safer roads. Okay, many believe that this will reduce the occurrence of fatal accidents. Personally, I strongly disagree. Okay, this essay will argue that there are various additional measures required to be implemented, using real-life examples to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Good. On one hand, there is ample evidence that drivers are more cautious when approaching radar-controlled areas or driving through highways with predefined speed limit, with a predefined speed limit, or with predefined speed limits. All right. Central reason behind this is twofold. Good. Firstly, they do not want to incur traffic fines, which will most likely put a dent in their pockets. Okay. Here we don't really need that because putting a dent in someone's pocket is almost informal. All right. And we know kind of the implications of a traffic fine. But here is a useful tip for you. Here we've got a negative construction. Is there a way we can use a negative verb instead? So we could say, firstly, they would prefer to avoid traffic fines, or firstly, they most likely dislike incurring traffic fines. Yeah, just examples there. For instance, in Dubai, one traffic fine costs up to AED 600, which is a considerable amount for taxi drivers and middle income workers. Okay, we can't say sector. Secondly, such roads usually have 3 or 4 lanes to enable motorists to change lanes and reach their destination faster. For example, in Dubai, Sheikh Zayed Road and Jumeirah Beach Road have 3 to 6 lanes for office goers on either side of the city. It must not be forgotten that although radars reduce the extent of fatalities to some extent, they do not eliminate it completely. This is due to the fact that radars can monitor the speed limit only up to a certain distance. Furthermore, they cannot be installed in inner city roads, service areas, and by lanes where safety of pedestrians, cyclists, and food and delivery bikes is of prime concern. Therefore, it should be acknowledged that this option has a limited impact. Excellent. Good work there. I don't really get this part. Okay. I don't see what that adds to the argument. The rest is fine. Okay. But we could just say, for example, in Dubai, numerous roads have, numerous major roads have multiple lanes, and it must not be forgotten. Okay, but even then, I can't really see how this links to the argument, except a few lines later where we're talking about cyclists, pedestrians, maybe. Okay, by the lanes. Yeah, there we go. But there's a big gap there. So it's a little bit difficult to follow. Okay, so maybe we could have just put the lane part together with the example and then put the "it must not be forgotten." Okay, but other than that, that's very good. Excellent work there, Champa. On the other hand, implementing various other measures for motorists, such as fines for not using Bluetooth or a hands-free device while talking, texting, lane discipline, use of indicators. Okay, but here we say for not using Bluetooth or hands-free devices while talking, texting. Okay, so is there a easier way we could have put this to digest? Okay, because there's a lot of information unloaded, and ideally we would have used parallelism. Okay, so we should have said something like, on the other hand, implementing various other measures for motorists, such as fines for not using Bluetooth, comma, or let's just see, I'm just going to pause it and think of some examples. So maybe we could have grouped the negative ones together just for ease, just to ease how we read it, okay? Such as fines for not using Bluetooth, or not using Bluetooth, indicators, or failing to maintain lane discipline. Okay, there we've got 3 negative ones, and it's just easier to follow. Okay. Also, we need to make this list a little bit shorter. We could have even split it up into 2. Yeah, because it's just way too long as it is. All right, and also specs is informal. We have to say spectacles. Take, for example, rash drivers and the affluent who drive into the city during peak hours on weekends and public holidays. Comma. They may not pay heed to speed limit fines, however, clubbed with these additional penalties. Be careful here. Okay. Right. Full stop. Yeah. However, comma, clubbed, faced is probably more eloquent. Yeah. Faced with these additional penalties, they would most likely think twice before hitting the accelerator harder. Okay. Furthermore, if more stringent measures could be introduced, well then for using stringent, introduced such as black points, confiscation of vehicle, cancellation of driving license, offenders may refrain from breaking traffic laws. Hence it is obvious that alternative measures are required for road safety. Excellent. To conclude, although reducing the speed limit is one of the options, I firmly believe that additional measures are required to be enforced by the authorities to ensure safer roads. It is predicted that in the future, the use of bicycles and public transport systems will increasingly grow in major metropolitans of the world. Okay, we don't need this little bit. It's kind of like surplus to requirement. There's no real additional information to strengthen your argument there. We just need a public transport system. That's it. Okay, it's obvious. Well, we can assume that the reader would understand that it's by professionals, by working professionals. Okay, we don't need it to be explicit, especially in a country such as Dubai, right, which it seems like we're basing our argument. Okay. So here, yeah, just put a bit more definition there. Will increasingly grow in major metropolitans of the world. Good work there, Champa. Good work. Be careful on the time limit, because it does seem as though we are writing a lot, and you might want to just start trying to get it all finished in an hour and 20 minutes maximum. Okay, let's move on. Dear Sir, I'm writing in response to the advert for a recruiter in Khaleej Times newspaper. Good. I've heard a lot about Jumeri Group and its expansion plans in Europe, UK and Thailand. Moreover, I've been constantly following the company updates on various social media websites. Excellent. With regard to my qualifications, in addition to holding an MBA in Human Resources, okay, Human Resources is fine. We don't need field on there, comma. I have achieved a professional certification in interviewing skills from Spearhead Training. Excellent. A well-known institute in Dubai. Fantastic. Chose this profession to extend assistance to thousands of job seekers who come to this city every year looking for work. It gives me immense joy and satisfaction to play a part in fulfilling their dreams. My employers state that I reflect this passion and positive energy consistently through my performance. Good. I have gained exposure to different industries, namely banking, retail, and hospitality during my last 3 years of work experience, comma, placing candidates at various levels in multinational organizations. Good. Furthermore, I've traveled to India, Nepal, and Sri Lanka for bulk recruitment trips to fill the vacancies for large-scale pre-opening projects. Fantastic. Kindly find attached my CV along with certificates for your perusal. And if I can be of any further assistance, please do not hesitate to contact me. I look forward to hearing from you. Yours faithfully, Beth Porter. Excellent work there. Fantastic. Fantastic work there, Beth. Enthusiasm, past experience, did we say? Yeah. Wonderful. All the points covered there. That's very important. We've got the right register as well. Writing in response. Please don't hesitate to contact me. This is fantastic. Excellent work. You should be very pleased with that. Okay, so you know what to do now. Can you implement all the corrections you've heard? Update your error list. Remember to check the new essays that you write for mistakes made previously, trying to implement some of the advice as well I mentioned about parallelism, which is the one of the final chapters of the course. And then once you've done all of that, send it all together in one email and I'll get it back to you as soon as possible. Okay, once again, I apologize for the delay. Take care.